Imagine walking into your local electronics store and asking for a hard drive big enough to store every single video on YouTube. The clerk would probably look at you like you'd asked for a spaceship. But let's dive into this fascinating thought experiment and see just how impossible this task really is. YouTube has become the digital library of human knowledge and entertainment. From cat videos to university lectures, cooking tutorials to movie trailers, it hosts an unimaginable amount of content. As of mid-2024, there were approximately 14.8 billion videos in total on the platform. To put that in perspective, if you watched one video every second without stopping, it would take you over 468 years to see them all. The sheer scale becomes even more mind-boggling when you consider the upload rate. Around 500 hours of video are uploaded on YouTube every minute. That means while you're reading this sentence, several hours of new content has already been added to the platform. More than 500 hours of new videos are uploaded to YouTube every minute. That equates to 30,000 hours every hour and 720,000 hours every single day. It's like trying to empty the ocean with a bucket while someone keeps refilling it with fire hoses. But let's get to the meat of our question: storage space. To understand how much space we'd need, we have to think about video file sizes. A typical HD video running at 1080p resolution and 30 frames per second consumes roughly 3 to 5 gigabytes per hour, depending on compression and quality settings. Some videos are much smaller, especially older ones, or those uploaded in lower quality, while others, particularly newer content in 4K or higher resolutions, can be absolutely massive. For our calculation, let us be conservative and assume the average YouTube video is about 10 minutes long and takes up roughly 500 megabytes in HD quality. This accounts for the mix of short clips, medium-length videos, and longer content. With 14.8 billion videos, we're looking at approximately 7.4 exabytes of data. To put this in perspective, an exabyte is a billion gigabytes. Your typical laptop might have 500 gigabytes to 1 terabyte of storage, which means you'd need roughly 7.4 million modern laptops just to store all of YouTube. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The consumer hard drive market has made incredible strides in recent years. The largest single hard drives available to regular consumers can hold up to 20 to 22 terabytes of data. Sounds impressive, right? Well, to store all of YouTube's content, you'd need about 370,000 of these maximum capacity drives. If each drive weighs about 1.5 pounds, your YouTube archive would weigh roughly 555,000 pounds, or about 277 tons. That's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747 airplane. But wait, there's more complexity to consider. Remember that 500 hours of video are uploaded on YouTube every minute. Using our conservative estimates, that's about 25 terabytes of new content every single minute. Your massive hard drive array would be outdated. Before you could even finish copying the existing content, you'd need a dedicated team of people working around the clock just to keep up with new uploads, constantly adding more drives to your ever-growing storage system. The financial aspect is equally staggering. Capacity consumer drives cost several $100s each. Those 370,000 drives would cost somewhere between $70 to $100 million. And that's just for the basic storage hardware. You'd also need the infrastructure to connect and power all these drives. Cooling systems to prevent overheating, backup systems in case drives fail, and a data center facility large enough to house everything. We're easily looking at hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's before considering the ongoing electricity costs and maintenance. Then there's the technical challenge of actually accessing and copying all this content. YouTube doesn't provide a simple download button for every video, and attempting to mass download their entire catalog would likely violate their terms of service and overwhelm their servers. Even if it were technically and legally possible, the bandwidth requirements would be astronomical. A typical home internet connection might handle 100 to 1,000 megabits per second on a good day. At those speeds, downloading 7.4 exabytes would take somewhere between 2,000 to 20,000 years, assuming your connection never slowed down or interrupted. Professional data centers face similar challenges, just at a different scale. Google, YouTube's parent company, operates multiple data centers around the world, each containing thousands of servers with specialized storage systems. They use advanced techniques like data compression, multiple quality versions of the same video, and distributed storage across different geographic locations. Even for Google, managing YouTube's storage requirements is one of the most complex technological challenges on the planet. The storage problem becomes even more complex when you consider that YouTube doesn't just store one version of each video. The platform automatically creates multiple versions of every uploaded video in different resolutions and formats to accommodate various devices and internet connection speeds. A single uploaded video might exist as a 144p version for slow connections, 480p for standard viewing, 720p and 108p for HD, and possibly 4K or even 8,000 versions for premium viewing experiences. Each version requires additional storage space, potentially multiplying our storage requirements by 5 or more times. There's also the question of redundancy and backup systems. Professional storage systems don't just store data once. They typically keep multiple copies in different locations to prevent data loss. YouTube likely stores at least 2 or 3 copies of every video across different data centers. This means our hypothetical single hard drive solution would actually need to be 3 times larger to match YouTube's reliability standards. Interestingly, the concept of storing all human digital content in one place isn't entirely science fiction. Researchers and archivists do think about long-term digital preservation, though usually on much smaller scales. Libraries and universities maintain digital archives of important cultural and historical content, but even these institutional efforts represent tiny fractions of YouTube's total content. The rapid growth of data storage technology offers some hope for future digital archivists. New technologies like DNA data storage, where information is encoded in synthetic DNA strands, theoretically offer incredible storage density. A few ounces of DNA could potentially store all of YouTube's current content. However, these technologies are still experimental, extremely expensive, and have slow read-write speeds that make them impractical for active use. Our thought experiment reveals something profound about the digital age we live in. YouTube represents just one platform among many, yet it contains more information than all the books ever written combined. The platform has become a repository of human creativity, knowledge, and daily life that would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago. Every cooking tutorial, music video, educational lecture, and personal vlog contributes to this massive digital monument to human expression. So what if you tried to save all YouTube videos on one hard drive? The short answer is, you can't, at least not with current consumer technology. The long answer reveals the incredible scale of modern digital platforms and the sophisticated infrastructure required to make them work. YouTube's content would require hundreds of thousands of the largest available hard drives, cost hundreds of millions of dollars, take thousands of years to download, and would be growing faster than you could copy it. It's a reminder that behind the simple act of clicking play on a video lies one of the most impressive technological achievements of our time, and that some things are simply too big for any one person or even one hard drive to contain.